This is DeKalb Avenue. The next stop is Atlantic Avenue, Barclays Center. Change for the 2, 3, 4, 5, B, N, and R trains and the Long Island Railroad.
Sometimes there are problems heading into the Atlantic Avenue. The curves are kind of tricky. But I think you're in for a pretty smooth ride today. Feels good to be back where I belong.
Oh, great. One of those train nuts. I just want to get where I'm going. Is that too much to ask? I'm going to move to another car.
I wouldn't go into that next car if I were you. There's some crazy person yelling about how we're all going to hell because we're not saved. At least this one's quiet, not screaming. I wouldn't go into the car after that one either. There's some homeless guy surrounded by garbage bags and shopping carts laughing and talking to himself in the smell. Ugh, that's why I came to this car.
So the least of three evils. I get it.
Trains. I know all about the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, or MTA. I can tell you anything you want to know about the New York City subway system. Ask me. Where do you want to go? I can tell you how to get there. I like to stand here in the first car at the front. I'm right next to the booth where the motorman drives the train. I see what the motorman sees, all the signals, all the lights. I can hear what the motorman hears, special communications and alerts. It's pretty great. Another thing I like about being here, there's always someone to talk to, someone I could tell about what I know about trains.
Train, I know train. Race down 33 steps from the street to the token booth on the mezzanine, then 20 steps to the platform to wait for the train. I can hardly wait for the train to arrive. MTA, New York City Transit, thank you for riding along with me. I can't stay away. Adventure is calling. Every train is right on track to take you there and bring you back each and every single day. Trains, I know trains. 340.8 tons of steel, see the sparks, listen to the sound of the wheels as we round the curve, you can hear them squeal. That's music to me. MTA, New York City Transit, thank you for riding along with me. I can't stay away. Adventure is calling. Every train is right on track to take you there and bring you back each and every single day. You can ride. You can ride. You can look, but don't touch anything. You're not a conductor or a motorman yet. Do not touch the controls. Keep your hands at your sides. Though I know I can drive this train, I don't have the ride, and I promised her never again. It can't happen like before. I made a promise, and I won't let them down. MTA, New York City Transit, thank you for riding along with me. I can't stay away. Adventure is calling. Every train is right on track to take you there and bring you back each and every single day. Each and every single day.
This is Atlantic Avenue, Barclays Center.
Yes, Atlantic Avenue, Barclays Center. Thanks, Roddy.
Anytime, Purnell. That's Brunel Mason. She's famous. Brunel is the voice of the New York City subway. I met her in person once at the MTA Rail Control Center on 54th Street. She's real nice. Watch the
The
closing
closing
door.
doors.
I knew almost from the beginning that my son was different. You were such a quiet baby.
Every mother wants a quiet baby.
You smelled so sweet. I wanted to hold you and hug you and kiss you all over, but sometimes you would turn away and start fussing. I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong.
Don't worry, he'll grow out of it. That's just the way some babies are.
You would get cranky and irritable. Nothing could soothe you or calm you down. So I'd wrap you up and take you outdoors and walk a few blocks. And we'd get to the subway station and sit on the bench as the trains passed by. Oh, it was so loud sometimes. I'd have to put my hands over your ears, but you'd stop crying. You'd get real quiet. You would just listen to the hum, to the rumbling, to the screeching. We might get on the local and ride for a while. Yeah. Roddy really loved his trains. He was so happy. As he got older, Roddy would talk to the token booth clerk, the conductor, the driver.
Motorman, Mom, not driver.
Motorman? Right. But by the time he was 6, Roddy had memorized all the stops on every train in the system.
It was easy. I just followed the map. Broadway Junction, Liberty Avenue, Van Sicklet Avenue, Shepherd Avenue, Euclid Avenue.
When you run out of ways to cope on your own, you turn to the experts. They know all about children like Roddy.
Mrs. Martin, we can help the child integrate successfully into society.
A special boy needs a special education, so that's where they put Roddy. It was okay. For a while.
I was happy. They let me do what I wanted. The teachers were nice. The other kids, they were okay mostly. I didn't talk to them much.
Of course, there were a few bumps.
Mrs. Martin, the child is often inattentive, not focusing on his lessons. Maybe if you were a little more firm with him.
But then
The bad thing happened.
another kid in the special ed class attacked Roddy. Hurt him really bad. And when he was able to go back to school, they put him right back in the same class with the boy who'd hurt him.
I couldn't get back there. I was scared.
I tried to get them to change his class, but there was no other place for him to go. So every morning, I watched Roddy walk out of the house on his way to school. I found out later that he never got to school. Roddy headed straight for the subway.
I knew I'd be okay if I came down here. I have friends here. And if anybody asked me why I was hanging around instead of being in school, I'd say, oh, I'm waiting for my Uncle Turner. He's a transit clerk. He's taking me to lunch. Or my cousin Stan is a conductor. He'll be here soon to pick me up. But I really loved going to the rail yards. That's where all the trains are.
I tracked Roddy down to the rail yards. There he was, talking and laughing with the transit guys. I thought maybe they can help convince him to go back to school. But instead, they encouraged him to hang out. Told him when he grew up, he could be one of them. Drive a train.
I cleaned out their work areas. I swept the trains. I went out and got them their lunches. Whatever they wanted, I helped them. It was great. And they gave me real MTA stuff, like uniform shirts, tie, cap, badges, and keys.
Yeah, that's when it all started.
I can't change him. He's his own man. He never wavers, never bends. Clear as day, but he can't see the signs. There's a price you pay when you color outside the lines. There's nothing wrong, there's no disease, there is no cure. And through it all, love endures, love endures. I will be there when you need me most. Though you're all grown up, it's true. Sometimes it rains, sometimes the sun will shine. There's a price you pay when you color outside the lines. Never hope, cause hopes turn into dreams that vanish in the light of day. It's safer not to dream, hide the pain away. There's nothing wrong, there's no disease, there is no cure. And through it all, love endures, love endures, love endures. But who can resist that face, whose heart can withstand that smile?
I'm all right, Mom.
I know. I'm all right too.
This is 7th Avenue. The next stop is Prospect Park.
Did you know that Prospect Park Station, well, not this station, the original station was closed after the crash, and they built a new station in the location to replace the old one, was where a train of 5 wooden cars slammed into a concrete wall? Yeah, it happened in 1918. Worst train disaster in New York City history.
Was a night like any other in November. The Brooklyn Rapid Transit trains went clickety-clack on their way to Coney Island, we remember. Bearing weary workers heading back to hearth and home. The First World War, the Spanish flu were splashed across the headlines in 1918. But on that street called Melbourne, on an inauspicious night, came the worst train disaster you have ever seen. November 1st, the Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers, they went out on strike over conditions they didn't like. That put the bosses in a bind, their knickers were in a twist. We gotta find someone to drive our trains. We need bodies, to hell with brains. Plucked from the train yards where he parked the subway cars, Eddie Luciano.
Age 23.
He never driven a train before,
And wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer.
2 days of instruction.
Forward, reverse, stop, left, right.
Was all the training Eddie got before that fateful night. The signs posted at the curb of the tunnel going into the Malbone Street station clearly warned the operator not to exceed 6 miles an hour. But Eddie was running behind schedule and had to make up for lost time, so he went full throttle. Woo! 44 miles an hour. And precisely 6:42 p.m. The train gained speed, went faster and faster, then it jumped the track, headed for disaster. The first car slammed into a concrete partition. The next four followed in a ghastly ballet. 650 passengers went flying every which way. When asked at his trial if he'd have any misgivings, Eddie shrugged and said a fella's gotta earn a living. Eddie broke the rules, he failed the test, and 96 souls were laid to rest. The train went faster and faster, and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. That's the story of the Malbone Street disaster.
Eddie Luciano was cleared of all charges. He left transit, went to real estate. Me, I learned the right way. The fellas started letting me drive the trains in and out of the rail yards. I caught on quick. They were proud of me. I remember.
Hey, Roddy. Hey, little man. Do me a favor and cover for me a little while, will ya? I gotta take care of some business. You know the routes, you know the rules. Hey, you learn from the best, right?
Right.
You are a pro, Roddy boy.
Better than that kid Larry Rogers. He drove an A train for 3 hours and got busted. Larry got off easy, only a few months probation. That's what happens when you're a kid. The punishment gets worse as you get older, especially after you get to be 18. I know.
Thank you for riding with MTA New York City Transit. The next stop is attention passengers. This train is being taken out of service. All passengers must exit the train.
If I stay on the train, it'll take me to the rail yard, and then I could use one of these. Yeah, I still have a few keys, the most important ones. Once I get to the rail yard, maybe I'll take one of the trains out for a ride. Just a short ride. I won't leave the yard.
Roddy?
Just around and around in the yard. It's not stealing if I don't go outside the yard.
Oh. If they catch you again, they'll put you away for longer this time, Roddy, and we wouldn't be able to ride together anymore.
I know. I don't like being locked in. I'm so scared. But since I was a kid, all I ever wanted to be was the man driving the train, the motorman. I followed all the safety rules, not one accident. And I ran my trains on time.
Oh. Roddy, get off the train.
The next train should be here soon. It's the 147 out of the northern terminal at 96th Street. The 147 is a pretty reliable train.
You certainly know a lot about trains.
Oh, yeah, I'm what you might call a subway specialist.
MTA, New York City Transit, thank you for riding along with me. I can't stay away. Adventure is calling. Every train is right on track to take you there and bring you back each and every single day. Each and every single day.